In this interview you can see on screen right now, promoter Eddie Hearn is asked by Kugan Cassius about the latest on the Joshua Wilder negotiations. Eddie Hearn says that he has not received proof of funds from Team Wilder, and he's actually not asking for proof of funds. He's asking for 5 specific questions. He doesn't say what the questions are, but he's asking for 5 specific questions to be answered. And he is corresponding at the moment with Al Heyman. That's what Eddie Hearn is saying. Al Heyman or Al Heyman's team are who Eddie Hearn is corresponding with, not Shelly Finkel. Now, I hope that, and by the way, Eddie Hearn says Heyman's team got back to him and said those questions will be answered shortly. So it's not the nonsense that he's having to deal with Shelly Finkel, where he's like, no, I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm not sending a draft contract. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not even going to meet you. And you've got 24 hours to agree. None of that nonsense that Hearn had to deal with Shelly Finkel. With Heyman's team, who Hearn has done many deals with in the past, it seems to be far more sensible. So hopefully a deal can be hashed out and the fight can happen. Back end of 2018, early 2019 maybe. We'll see. At the end of the day, I want to see the fight. A lot of these idiotic, mentally deranged Wilder fanboys, they act like they don't want to see the fight. They would rather it be a back and forth between the two sets of fans. They would rather go with this narrative that Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn is scared. They actually don't want to see the fight. That's the bizarre thing about these fans. They don't want to see the fight. They want Joshua to be scared. They don't want Joshua to take the fight. That's how crazy these people are, because these people are not really boxing fans. See, I'm a boxing fan. I don't sit up here for all these years on YouTube since 2010? 8 years, right? I haven't been sitting up here on YouTube for 8 years because I don't love boxing. Obviously, I love boxing. I haven't been sitting up here for so long for, me to say, I don't want Joshua to fight Wilder. What a ridiculous thing that would be. I'm a boxing fan. I want to see the best fights. I want to see the best fight the best. That's why I've been doing this for so long. The idea that I don't want to see Joshua fight Wilder, what brand of crack are you smoking? Some idiot, some moron said, oh, well, if you want to see Joshua fight Wilder, then why weren't you pressuring Joshua to accept the offer? What? Accept an offer with a 24-hour time limit when he ain't seen a contract and he don't know the terms, and I should be pressuring him to accept that offer? Anyone coming out with nonsense like that is getting blocked for life on this channel, because you are dangerously stupid, okay? That offer that Shelly Finkel came out with was not a legitimate offer. The fact that it had a 24-hour time limit on it proves that it wasn't legitimate. If you want to make a legitimate offer, you don't put a 24-hour time limit on it. Now, Team Wilder may come out with legitimate offers in future. Hopefully they will. I pray they come out with a legitimate offer. Because if Joshua turns down a legit offer, I will be criticizing him. But I'm not going to criticize someone for turning down a 24-hour, no contract, not telling you the terms, one time only. Come on, ridiculous. Turning down that kind of contract is common sense for a fight of this magnitude. You have to know the terms. Verbal agreements are legally binding in New York State. You're not going to agree to something when you don't know the terms and then you find you're legally bound to it. Nonsense. All right? So that's where we are at the moment with the negotiations. Hearn says he's dealing with Heyman's team. And again, he's worked many times with Heyman and they've worked well together. They've made fights together very easily. So hopefully it can get done. And, the fake offer that Team Wilder put out through Shelly Finkel, what was the purpose of that offer? I mean, we're all speculating. If you think it was a legit offer, you're getting blocked because you're just too damn stupid. Okay, it wasn't a legit offer. Why did they put that fake offer out? It could be because they're using it as a smokescreen because they're going to fight Dominick Brazil. It could be to try and force a better offer from Eddie Hearn. It could be that, and Hearn says he is preparing a counter offer. It could be, a whole number of different reasons why you would put a fake offer out like that. One thing we know for sure is that it is a fake offer. And again, I've never said that Team Wilder don't have the 50 million or their backers don't have the 50 million. I'm sure they do have the 50 million. It's whether they're willing to put the 50 million up. That is what's in question here. Not whether their backers have the money, whether they're willing to put it up for this fight. Because neither Joshua nor Wilder have ever fought on pay-per-view in the United States. Fact. Neither Joshua nor Wilder is a big name in the United States among the general public. Fact. If you look at people who have been pushed by HBO, American fighters who have been pushed for years by HBO, people like Andre Ward and Terence Crawford. I know Crawford's now on ESPN, but still, these are fighters who got pushed for years. And when they got onto pay-per-view, they weren't even doing 200,000 buys. Joshua and Wilder have never done a pay-per-view in the United States before. Neither of them. But yet we're expecting them to do crazy numbers? Based upon what? I think the fight, if it happened right now, would never recoup 100 million. Let's say they put out 100 million, or they paid the purses for the fighters, 50 million for Joshua, whatever it is for Wilder. If they did it right now, they wouldn't recoup that money, I don't think. The fight needs building a hell of a lot before they're going to get anywhere near recouping that kind of money. And recouping and getting a profit, because it's not just about breaking even. Heyman's backers don't want to break even. They want to make a big profit on top of it. And in order to do that, a lot more promotion needs to be done. A lot more needs to be done to build up this fight. And actually, the controversy between the fans, the back and forth, as jarring as it is for a real boxing fan like me, to have all these idiotic fanboys who really know nothing about boxing, know nothing about the business of the sport, have no common sense, they're really not true boxing fans. As jarring as it is to have these people descend upon my page like a swarm of locusts, I understand that does actually help to build the fight. Truth be told, So, but I don't want it on my page, but I understand out there in the boxing universe, it does help to build a fight like this. So, yeah, that's where we're at with the negotiations. Hopefully the fight happens. And as far as, going back to the offer, as far as the fake offer being a smokescreen and them really fighting Brazil, some clown popped up and said, "Oh, you think that Wilder's fighting Brazil because Eddie Hearn said so?" No, because Dominick Brazil himself said so. Genius. What are you talking about? Dominick Brazil's an Al Heyman fighter. Deontay Wilder's an Al Heyman fighter. Dominick Brazil has done several interviews. He's come out publicly and he said he is fighting Deontay Wilder next. He's been told that he's fighting Wilder next. He's got the same advisor, Al Heyman. He's a PBC just like Wilder, and he says he's been told he's fighting Wilder next. And this is not information I'm getting just from Eddie Hearn. I'm getting this from the horse's mouth, right? And talking about the horse's mouth, where on earth did this idea that Eddie Hearn has got proof of funds from Wilder's team come from? Because Eddie Hearn says he hasn't received proof of funds. So rather than get the information from the horse's mouth, where the hell are people getting the information from? And bottom line is, once again, to all these idiotic fanboys who really don't know anything about boxing, I want the fight to happen. If Eddie Hearn gets proof of funds, even if he don't get proof of funds and he receives terms and details which he's happy with, I'll be happy, because the bottom line for me is I want the fight. A lot of these Wilder fanboys, you don't actually want the fight. All you want to do is go back and forth and pray that Joshua runs away so it'll play into your narrative that he's afraid. That's what you actually want. You don't want the fight to happen. I want the fight to happen. Big difference. That's why if the fight looks like it's going to happen, I'm elated. I'm jumping for joy. I want Team Wilder to come out with a legitimate offer. That's what I want. And hopefully they will. Yeah? But at the moment, it looks like they're fighting Brazil. Brazil says it's going to be the back end of July. We'll see. Perhaps Hearn can block it. You know, again, it could be like the Canelo-Golovkin situation where Golovkin was going to fight Billy Joe Saunders in Kazakhstan, but Canelo and Golden Boy blocked it and said, nah, if you fight Billy Joe, you ain't getting the fight with us. So perhaps Hearn might be pulling a stunt like that. I mean, we'll call it a stunt, whatever you want to call it. He might be pulling something like that where he says, nah. Wilder, you're not getting a fight in before Joshua. If you want this fight, you better cancel that Brazil fight. You know, because clearly Dominick Brazil's told he's fighting Wilder. Clearly there must have been some negotiations between Wilder and Brazil for this to come about, because they're both without Heyman. So we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, let me know what you feel in the comment section below, people. Hopefully I've covered everything here. All right, it's happening. I'm out.